Okay. Well, hey everybody. Dr. Bulow here with another episode of Around Cranberry Township. And we are going live in a different way. We're doing it where I can't see the screen. If you have questions on this episode, still ask them. We'll either circle back around afterwards or we will get them to us live just on a delay. But we wanted to do it this way because I'm with Toni at Healthy Pets Products, and this is the coolest back wall here that is on her freezer, which she's going to tell us about. So let us just start off by saying thank you, Toni, for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and it's 2020. We're kicking off, resuming. It's been a crazy. 2019 was really busy for me for a lot of different reasons. We kind of got out of this, but we're getting back into it. And for those of you that are new to Around Cranberry Township, the idea is we want to introduce people. We want to introduce people to their community, connecting you with your community, namely service providers, business professionals, small business owners. Cranberry is such a diverse area, and I have patients all the time from all different regions that come and move into the area, and I like connecting them with really good people. So Toni and I met. Toni came into the clinic as a patient. We were talking. I found out that she owns this place, which is right down the street from my office. I'd seen your brand before, because you have multiple locations, right?
3 plus a grooming shop.
That's awesome. So why don't we start from the beginning? Your bio is really pretty cool when I came across it, but why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and kind of how you got into this world?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for doing this.
Absolutely.
I'm thrilled to be the first of 2020.
That's right.
Hello, everybody. I actually started Healthy Pet Products in 2008.
Gotcha. Which is when we opened, by the way, as well. So.
Yeah, which is very ironic.
Yeah,
very ironic. Yeah. And so we're going on 12 years. It'll be my 12-year anniversary in October.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, very excited. So I started with one location that was only 1,000 square feet. And that location was there for about 6 months. We were so busy that I actually moved that location and doubled square footage. And this is, my first store was in the North Hills.
That was my next question, was where was that location? Yeah.
So I was in that 2,000 square feet store for 5 years. And then, around 2011, it was time for a second store. And I knew South Hills was the right location because we had many customers driving from the South Hills to us.
Yeah.
So opened South Hills in 2011, and then moved the North Hills location down onto McKnight Road in 2014.
Got it. Yep.
So, and again, doubled square footage.
Yeah.
So, and then the grooming shop came about, and that is in Franklin Park. That came in April of 2015.
Got it.
And then we opened Cranberry in May of 2019.
It's been a busy year.
Yeah.
A busy decade.
Very busy decade.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is what would you attribute the growth to? You know what I mean? And why people travel, because if anyone's from the area, they know people in Pittsburgh don't typically cross 2 rivers or 2 bridges unless it's worth it.
Exactly. And unfortunately, I attribute to the success, part of the success, to increased health conditions in pets.
Gotcha. So it's a kind of a sad state.
It is.
So what are some of the most common conditions that you see in domestic pets that drive people into a place like Healthy Pet Products?
So from simple things to more complicated things, skin allergies, ear infections, autoimmune disorders, diabetes, obesity, cancer.
Wow.
So it's a multitude of digestive issues is a big one.
So selfishly thinking, when you said skin disorders, I think about how our cats at one point, I believe they had an allergic reaction to, I don't know, it was a flea product, I want to say.
Yeah.
And the poor things had just crazy reactions. So what would I find, or how would I help? Is it that the intervention needs to be avoided, in terms of these vaccines or whatever they are, or is it that we need to find a way to cope with it after they've been treated for something like that?
So I like to be proactive and arm your pets with a good immune system.
Amen. Preaching to the choir. Yeah, I like
right?
that. Yeah.
To be able to battle the things that we're up against that we really kind of don't have control over.
Yeah.
And then, such as environmental issues, we only have so much control over that. But we do have control over what we put into our pets' bodies, what we feed them, what kind of supplements we give them, if they need them at all, minimizing chemical flea and tick treatments, minimizing their chemical load, minimizing vaccines. There's new studies and all of that kind of stuff. So
that's so amazing hearing you say that, because it's it's like I'm talking to a fellow chiropractor. There's what I always tell people is there's two ways to attack a problem. There's disease management, which is essentially a reactive way, crisis management, waiting for it to blow up in your face, or health enhancement. What do I do just to make the organism, in this case a pet, healthier and better? And that's pretty cool. Is there anything that you find are like quick go-tos that the majority of pet owners are missing in their strategy for making sure that their pet is kind of has a firm foundation to be optimal health?
Fresh, real food.
Fresh, real food. So tell me about that, because we got a cooler here. So what's that about?
So most people are afraid to tell me. Most customers are afraid to tell me that they feed table food.
Yeah.
They think I'm going to chastise them for feeding table food, and I'm actually not going to, depending on what the table food is.
Yeah.
If it is a fresh cut of chicken that you bought for your family, and they get the extras that are left over that have not been heavy spiced or anything like that. I am fruits, vegetables, any fresh foods are excellent for them.
Go figure. They're wild animals. They'll eat wild things out in nature.
Exactly. And another major go-to that usually fixes most ailments is the raw food category.
So the raw food categories. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we have a walk-in freezers at all of our locations for the raw food, and it's basically raw meat, but not just raw meat. It's not like a lot of people think, well, I can just go to the grocery store and get ground beef. It's more, there's more to it than that. They need a combination of raw meat, raw bones, and raw organs.
Interesting.
Small amount of vegetable matter. Fruit matter, up to 5%, maybe 10%, depending on the situation. And bones, of course, are ground. Like what we sell here is, this is America, things are convenient for us. These are formulas, ground, formulated, ready to go. All you do is thaw and serve.
That's cool.
You really don't have to do any mathematics or science as far as calcium to phosphorus ratio or anything like that.
And then what are some, I'm sure, like in every business, you have a target market, someone who is going to shine by adopting your products or services. And so in that category, I'm curious, and the other thing I was going to say is that testimonials are always so great. When you can show an example of somebody who, in this case, has maybe switched their foods and had a different outcome. I'm curious to see what you've seen just over the years with your own pets or pets that you've helped facilitate with your products. Over the years, especially since we're going on 12 years, I cannot tell you the amount of gratitude and the amount of pets that we truly have saved and helped. Wow, that's cool. And a lot of people, I feel, give me too much credit because they think I saved their animal. They truly think I saved their animal, but they were willing to listen to what I had to say, do a little homework. It made sense to them. They trusted what I told them, and it took them to make the steps and to make the changes. Well, give me one of your favorites. I would love to hear something that you just love, because we all have those. So one of my favorites that happened in the first couple of years, which is a similar story of others, is classic gastroenteritis, and there's no answers. And the vets, the dog had been on multiple courses of antibiotics. What was prescription symptoms for that? So for folks that don't know, chronic diarrhea. Got it. Yep. Chronic diarrhea. Yep. A lot of times you'll see the mucus. Sometimes they would see blood in the stool, which is very terrifying. Oh, yeah. Very terrifying and serious. Yep. So
the traditional veterinary route is prescription food, antibiotics. They are starting to incorporate some probiotics, not to my caliber of probiotics, but we started them on a prebiotic and digestive enzyme blend. That's what we do first. And then I talked to them about raw food. It made total sense to them. They did a couple of the supplements I recommended before going directly into raw food. Then we worked the dog into raw food. And literally within days, the diarrhea was gone.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
the dog had a very long, happy life. Really never no hiccup along the way.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
And I bet you the owners were relieved as well because they didn't have to clean.
Exactly.
We have a couple dogs. We went on vacation with them this past summer, and they got a little stressed due to the drive.
Sure.
And I tell you, nothing was worse than my head popping up in the middle of the night to the sound of gastroenteritis. Yeah, it was a rough way to start a summer vacation. So I'm sure that you are saving the dogs, but also giving so much less of stress and giving people their pets and their companions back.
Yeah.
Just to wrap things up and keep it in a timely fashion, but just tell people a little bit about what keeps you busy outside of your brand and helping your local community. I know one of the coolest things I found out about Toni is did you already go, or you're going to go out west to the facility? What's that about?
Best Friends Animal Sanctuary is in Utah. They have been around for 30 years. They are leading the nation in a no-kill movement. They want the nation to be no-kill by 2025.
Yeah.
I've been there 4 times. And it's just a very special place.
Yeah.
So I go and volunteer every year. I kind of couple it with a trade show in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Was able to take 2 of my managers with me last year. They're going again this year.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So we do 2 different fundraisers. One for Best Friends, one for animal friends locally or humane we help the local as well as Best Friends, but Best Friends, I don't know, is just a very special place for me personally.
That's cool. And you mentioning local and fundraisers and things, what do you guys have coming up in 2020? Any kind of events or any just promotional things, anything the community should know about coming up here in 2020?
Sure. I think it's important. We post everything on Facebook and Instagram, but we do try to do some type of focus every month, but every year we do Healthy Pet Day, which is a big day-long celebration at every location.
At every location?
Yep.
I'm thinking of
is like a pet fair. The Pittsburgh Pet Expo.
Pittsburgh Pet Expo. So Healthy Pet Day is what you do.
Healthy Pet Day is internal.
So it's all your locations.
Yep.
And when's the date on that one?
So we don't have
roughly,
them totally set. North Hills and Cranberry are going to be in May.
In May, got
and
it.
Then, North Hills and South Hills are going to be in May. Cranberry's in June.
Cool, got it.
And then the Pittsburgh Pet Expo, we have to wait till the Steelers' schedule is published.
Fair enough.
So that's usually October, November.
So people should stay connected.
Yeah,
and I'll post links up onto the social media, your social media page. So if people connect with you on there, they can be updated for Healthy Pet Day coming up. One last question that I forgot to ask it earlier on, but I always ask this of everybody. I think it's a neat question, and that's what keeps you motivated, what keeps you inspired to do this? Because as a service professional and a business owner, it's not always what you see on the storefronts. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and late hours, and late nights, and stress, and whole lot of things. I'm just kind of curious, what drives you, in the background.
Sure. And honestly, I feel my business, even though it is my bread and butter, it is a mission-driven business first and foremost, and that is really what drives me. I truly want to communicate to as many people as I possibly can about how important it is to feed better foods, and we need to see a reduction in health ailments in our dogs and cats, and especially a reduction of cancer, because it's almost 65%.
Yeah, and I think I saw somewhere that's more of a domestic condition, you know what I mean, as opposed to a wild condition, so it's a byproduct of the environment that we're putting our pets into, which says something about humans as well, but that's a whole other topic. But So, well, I really appreciate you spending the time with us. I think it's inspiring what you do. I think it's really cool that you're here in Cranberry because you're local now, which is awesome. So everyone should definitely stop by and check out Healthy Pet Products and chat with Toni. And then I'll just leave the last word for Toni in just a minute, but for those of you that have stuck with us this long, thanks for watching. Be sure to ask questions, right? So leave your questions on the video here. I'm sure Toni can stop in and answer them. If you know somebody that has a local service or business, let me know. I'd love to chat with them this year in 2020. And obviously, if you need any health help or advice, let me know. But Toni, I'm going to give you the last word here. Any last thoughts for the community?
Question everything.
Is that it?
Yep.
That is slick. Question everything.
Yep.
That's smart. Thank you so
much.
Thank you. Absolutely. My pleasure. We'll see you guys around.
Bye.
Bye now. 1 second.